Hello young saints and consecrate team, how are you? Thank you for clicking on the video. Now, I'm not Megan, I'm standing in for Megan while she is away on holiday this week. This is your walkthrough video for the 8th of March, Sunday the 8th of March. We are in week 3 of our Lent series, which is always a lot of fun. On week 1, we did the Palm Sunday, the triumphal entry of Jesus into Jerusalem. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord, and all that good stuff. On week 2, last week, we did the cleansing of the temple, turning over the tables, passion for his house will consume me, all that good stuff. This week, we start a double header on the next part of our story as we walk through Holy Week towards Easter, Easter Sunday morning, really. And that is, we're doing a double header on the Last Supper. So today we're doing part 1, and then next week we'll do part 2. Part 1 is foot washing, part 2 is communion. When you read this story in the Bible, in all 4 Gospels, you're going to notice something, and that is that the Synoptic Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, give us, at the Last Supper, communion. John, and only John, gives us foot washing. So we're going to do foot washing this week and communion next week. It's just one of those interesting things where the synoptics, I'm just looking at 3 in 1 if I can get 4 fingers going here. The 3 synoptic gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, all give us communion but don't give us foot washing. John gives us foot washing but doesn't give us communion. John refers to communion more in John 6, where he talks about you have to eat my body and drink my blood. Anyway, that's by the by, because that's in a different place. So this is a double header on the Last Supper. So let's do it. If you're working with a younger group, the younger groups are going to be using the Storybook Bible and pages 286. Let's see, can I find page 286 live while I'm turning? Whoa, it's exciting, isn't it? But you didn't realise you get this drama when you clicked on the video. There you go, 286. The Servant King. So this is the story we're going to be going through with the younger ones, yeah, here are your questions. Here's your things that you've laid out. Our response to this: Jesus shows that the Christian life is one of sacrifice and service, like we talked about in our True Love theme that we've just done back in February. Life isn't about being selfish, but about helping and loving others. We want to follow in Jesus's footsteps. So let's talk about some way with those younger ones we can love and serve one another. With the slightly older ones, so those adventurers and trailblazers amongst you, again, washing Jesus' feet, but this time just reading it from your Bible in John 13, 1 to 17. And discuss the practical realities of, is this a deeply religious moment? Or is there a practical touch to it too? Back in those days, people wore sandals, not shoes. You and I wear shoes, don't we, which completely enclose our feet, as do our socks. And we don't have the same need to wash our feet everywhere we go. Maybe you ladies like wearing sandals in the summer, but we don't have the same need to wash our feet as they did in the olden days, because whatever the weather, their feet were dirty. If it was hot and dry, then the feet would be dusty. If it was muddy and wet, then the feet would be muddy. So it was traditional when you enter a guest's house to have your feet washed. And those are some of the things we want to talk about. This is the hot and dry and muddy question here. They'd hired the room, the disciples, so there isn't necessarily someone on hand available ready to wash feet. So then we get this amazing moment that Jesus washes his disciples' feet, yes, as an act of service, but also as a demonstration of the greatest act of service that you could ever imagine. And that is the highest, the king above all kings, the name above all names, becomes the servant of all. The one who is the greatest, God himself, Jesus, comes down to earth and then becomes the lowest, becomes the servant, becomes the one who washes their feet. So yes, it is an act of service. Of course it is. And yes, it is an act of service that we should copy. Of course it is. But it's not that we should specifically copy foot washing, though that's nice if you want to do that. It's that our example, our model for us, Jesus, the greatest King, the highest, the creator of all things, comes to serve us. That's humbling, and so that's the attitude with which we go forwards. So Meg's just put here in response, Jesus shows that the Christian life is one of sacrifice and service, like we talked about in our true love thing, blah, 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 blah. Let's talk about ways in which we can help our parents, friends, siblings or teachers. Likewise, you'll find the same ideas tucked away in the Consecrate teaching. Again, Consecrate, we want to recap what we have done. We've got, rather than having a video or a Bible story, we've got a nice picture, a nice illustration to use here of Jesus. This is an ancient painting, as you can see, with a slightly sort of oriental tinge to it. Jesus washing his disciples' feet. And we're going to go through in the youth as well, just reading the story. What does it say? Chat about these things in the group. Was it normal to wash people's feet? Who would have normally done this task? Was Jesus acting like he was the most important person in the room, because he was, or was he not? Did he actually prefer others to elevate them? And Jesus told his disciples that they wouldn't understand what he did, but they would one day. So we can do that today, can't we? So there's 3 points for the youth we want to pull out of this. Jesus washed his disciples' feet as a necessary action. They were physically dirty. Jesus washed his feet as a prophetic action. He washes away our sin. And Jesus washed his disciples' feet as a command. We should love and serve one another. So that's the basic framework of the teaching. We have some fun craft to be getting on with. One of those is you can make your own in the children's groups. Jesus with his towel here, ready to wash the disciples' feet. That is a simple craft sheet that is done for you here. All you have to do is cut out your Jesus, stick him to himself, pop his arms on, and then choose a piece of fabric to add on for him to hold as a towel. We also have, I did not come to be served, but to serve foot washing, and another foot washing one, but with the whole sort of gang in the picture. So Jesus going around the table there. I think this should be an awful lot of fun. There's ideas there for songs and games and things that you might want to get involved with. Guys, have a wonderful week wherever it is that you are serving. Can I remind you, on the subject of serving, that coming up on Palm Sunday, we have our Palm Party. Check that out. And you can be involved in making that happen. And that is a wonderful opportunity to invite our friends, our neighbours, our loved ones, to hear the hope that we have in Jesus, that we're reminded of every Easter time. Also, if you haven't yet done so, please can I highly recommend that you start or finish the youth and children's team training that is available online at mykingdomfaith.com. Just go down on the left hand side till you find the youth and children's tab. Then when you find that, click on the training and you'll find that there are 4 sessions there. Each one will take you no more than 30 minutes to complete. There's about a 10 or 15 minute video involved in each one, some notes and a quiz for you to enjoy. We want to get everyone on the same page so that the whole team of youth and children's workers are all pulling in the same direction for us as a church, which is fantastic. Bless you. I pray that God's grace and his peace would be with you this week as you serve our young people. Thank you for everything you do. See you soon. Bye.